In a similar way, the members of the ACLU delivered themselves from what they believed to be the tyranny of a foolish and ignorant society. They formulated rules and regulations and wandered the countryside, telling everyone to worship their deliverer, which is themselves. Now they are declaring they will never be in bondage to anyone again. This is similar to the children of Israel. After being freed from bondage, they wandered in the wilderness, practiced their religious services, and tried to tell others about their deliverer. Their hope was to inherit a promised land. Isn't that the same goal of this religious group called the ACLU? They claim to be protecting the separation of church and state. But the ACLU is actually more religious than I am. They belong in the same category with the other world religions. They believe they are the keepers of some supreme truth, which they alone possess, and are the guardians of our freedoms. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And the ACLU looks, walks, and quacks like a religion. Now, the ACLU, with their atheist point of view, also has the gall to regard those who oppose their religious practices as stupid, inconsiderate, and oh yes, intolerant. Have you ever wondered how they get away with attempting to force their beliefs on others? Their tactics are similar to those used by the Bible thumpers who spit out scriptures by chapter and verse to show their superior knowledge of what I call a paper pope. These believers read their books of knowledge, but whatever compassion or human kindness they possess is reserved for their own kind. We may also recognize that religious beliefs can clarify what people believe about their who, what, and why, hopefully bringing them contentment and security. All people worldwide are religious in the true sense of the word. They formulate tribes, organizations, institutions, governments, and nations, and all practice their own religion in one way or another. In practicality, it is impossible to be non-religious. Even we in the U.S. must understand that our founders actually found a new religion by breaking away from the religion of England. This new religion began with common beliefs that united them to one another. Since all religions must have common points to unify them, they created a new religious document. This document best describes the religious principles that every newly elected religious leader of their organization must swear to uphold. It seems to me that now, in 2010, our elected political religious leaders may be changing the religion of our founding fathers by not honoring the intentions of the original document. It looks like the world is being led into a one-world religion that will govern us all. This just may be what my next book will be about. Many of us, by our religious practices and lifestyle, consider ourselves more advanced or special, wiser, and better informed than the rest of mankind. We have made religion, with its books, temples, holy days, rites, rituals, holy foods, and unholy foods, the most important thing in our life, rather than our fellow man. Others make global warming or going green their priority. Please don't throw away this book just yet. I know this must be disturbing. It was to me before I realized we are not actually human, but subhuman. Just as the children of Israel were overtaken by pride and the belief that their religion made them special, every religion on earth today, including the zealots of the ACLU, the global warming crowd, and others that don't consider themselves religious, are convinced they're right and everybody else is wrong. Once a nation, government, religion, or individual thinks they're special or better than their fellow man, they are deceived. I am not trying to discredit the many wonderful individuals that are associated with any of the world's religions, but I don't believe that they are wonderful because of their religion. Now, count to 10 and breathe slowly. I think I saw you smile just now. We have to be careful when approaching the real meaning behind the majority of beliefs that we hold dear. The problem may be related to what we've been told about our who, what, and why. Who we've been told we are, whether by family, friends, and even enemies. What we are can be described very simply or very scientifically. As noted earlier in this chapter, I would rather go with the simplest deduction. I'm a person, soul or will, who is ageless but with an aging physical body. This body includes a mind, intellect, reason, 5 senses, and blood and guts. This is a very simple way of explaining my form and existence. The question is, why do we exist? I remember questioning a young professional man at an exclusive party once. Just after he spent a half hour telling me how he had accomplished so much so quickly and was at the top of his game financially, I waited patiently until he stopped talking about himself. Since he was a man of such worldly understanding and knowledge, I said, "I have a question I would like to ask you. Would you mind?" He replied, "No problem." Because of the discussion up to that point, I suppose he was thinking that I was about to ask him a question about business or finance. I asked him, "What is the purpose of your existence?" As he heard the question, his eyebrows rose slightly, and with this blank stare upon his face, this well-educated, very successful young man replied, "I don't have a clue." Recently on vacation in Mexico, I posed the same question to an individual of seemingly high intelligence at poolside. He answered rather quickly, "If there is a God, He created us for entertainment, and if there is no God, there is no reason at all." Religion is definitely related to our subject of who, what, and why. All our worldly religions try to answer this question. I seriously wonder if we have the same understanding of the word religion. I will give you my definition. Remember, it doesn't have to be your definition, but I should communicate and clarify what I'm talking about when I say religion. Religion is a specific, fundamental set of beliefs and practices, generally agreed upon by a number of persons or sects. Religion, again, relig, to tie, fasten to something. So the concept of religion does express what we say and do or practice as a method of aligning or realigning ourselves with a God, gods or no God, and or one another. To again tie or bind us to God or to others, it must also pertain to the things you practice to achieve your goal. These practices and methods or forms are what I choose to call religion. Therefore, religion can be a means to finding peace, unity, and security within its walls. But be careful when approaching the most religious believers about the reason for our existence. They have been known to kill or destroy, even promising to commit the unbeliever to eternal torment if they refuse to agree with their who, what, and why. The why remains the most mysterious of the 3 W's. What if it happens to be the clearest of the 3, with the simplest explanation, and best understood apart from any religion at all? Can any of us comprehend a world apart from religion? Probably not. But we can all wish, can't we? Once I met a man that was a truly unique individual, a non-religious person in this environment dominated by religion, and who is secure in his who, what, and why. We will call this individual Ernest. Ernest quickly learned the answers to his who, what, and why. He didn't have to venture far or wide, or search diligently, as you and I might. He was blessed with wonderful parents who constantly showed their love and affection in both word and deed. Ernest was the only son of a wise couple. Their lives revolved around one another, which couldn't help but make the boy feel special. He was personally connected to loved ones who reminded him that he belonged to a family and did not exist unto himself. They also told Ernest the most important thing: he was theirs. Why he exists was self-evident because he had a constant example of his why, his father. When questioned about the reason for his existence, he immediately knew the answer. Ernest replied, "I exist because of and unto my parents, and I will someday exist for my wife and my children." This individual did not practice a religion of any sort. He lived a tremendously fulfilling life and died with a smile on his face. All the great efforts of mankind to understand our origin or beginning have only left us more confused. There may be too many theories to choose from. At best, we have 70 to 80 years to ponder our who, what, and why. It's possible that technology may extend our lives by a few more years, and that might give us some comfort. Whether young or old, rich or poor, all of us need to formulate a sincere opinion of our who, what, and why. We should not be concerned whether others will agree with us. It's more important that we learn the truth. What good does it do to believe a distorted view of something just to make ourselves or others feel better? Doesn't that type of mentality bring a false sense of security? When the truth is finally heard, those who have placed their faith in the distortion are likely to react with suspicion and even anger. Therefore, after years of thought, I was compelled to write this book on the most necessary and timely subject, the truth of our who, what, and why, based on the revelation of our alien creators.